Yes, my people. So pretty much the same thing on gold. Just gonna go over this week's potential trades from the first to the third. And right now, if you look, what did price do? Price tapped into the zone, and SBS Model One probably is the better setup here, where this is one, two, three, four, five, and then price pushes up and actually takes out our previous high. So essentially, we can draw our new zone, and on our 1 hour, we can. It's safe to say that price is now bullish. So if you head over to our before we head over to our 5 minute chart, I now know that this is my protected low, and I now know that this is my. Let me just double check. This is my weak high. So now everything's out is just internal structure, and in terms of areas of supply and demand, we don't really have much, but technically, this area here, if we potentially can tap into this, then it will be nice for price to produce a new high. If that doesn't happen and that's not the case, then potentially we're gonna come back, tap into here, and then push higher. If that's not the case, we end up taking out this low, and we're probably facilitating a higher time frame SPS. So let's just wait and see what happens. So if we go to our 5 minute, we can see that price is basically still bullish, and I can draw this zone here, and I can wait and see how price reacts off the zone. I mean, I can always use a 12 minute as well and see how price reacts off this area. So let me go to a moment because we have actually. So before we go to moment, sorry, we actually do have SPS one, two, three, four, potentially the five. So now I can go to my 1 minute, see if there's a change in order flow. So on my 1 minute time frame, we did take out this low, and then we ended up taking out the high. So I need price to still get above the SMA. I'm not gonna trade below this SMA. I need to trade with the SMA. The SMA is the green light uh, to let me go and try and potentially look for a execution. So as we let price play out, so we've now gotten above the SMA, and we now actually took out this high. And then what happened? Straight away, we ended up taking out the low. So when we use the lower time frame to help us get a potential trade, this is what I mean. You don't know if price is gonna bounce from this area. There's still a lot of places where price might want to tap into first before we push up. Too many people just think, oh yeah, this zone's gonna hold, and yes, it's gonna take out my previous high. No, it's not. We still need to wait for order flow to potentially switch on a lower time frame, and then we can start looking for potential trades. And even so, sometimes order flow will switch, and price still won't go your way sometimes. So the least you can do is at least have confirmations there, switching order flows there, following the SMAs there, following SBS, following market structure before you even try and look for a mid trade. Remember, you only want to be taking quality setups. So we let price play out, and let's see what happens. We've gone way past my trading time. We're even into the not yet, but we've gone past my trading time now. Let's just see what happens. So we finally take out this low. So can you see how the SMA is bearish right now, right? Can you guys see that? So if the SMAs are bearish right now, what should I be doing technically? I should be looking for shorts, right? Hence why I said once price takes out this high, I still need price to get above the SMAs before I look for anything. That's because price was bullish for a short while does not mean you can now start looking for a trade immediately. You still need to be following the SMA. So if you look carefully, we actually have a bearish zone right above us, and technically within this bearish zone we basically created an SBS model. I mean, you could say model 1, but you could also say that this was just a bearish zone, and then we had a high time from SBS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kind of retested the SMA. We kind of tapped into this area of supply and demand, as you guys can see right there. and then from there, what's happened? Price has reacted from it, and it has pushed down. You know, and then internally, what did we do? We took out this low, we pulled back into this area of supply and demand, and then what happened? Price pushed down. Yes, it took a while. We reacted off the SMAs a little bit right here, kind of consolidated, and then what's happened now? We've ended up taking out our previous internal lower low. So according to price on my higher time frame, it looks like we're just in a pullback, or looks like this SNDR might not be strong enough. So I just need to hold on tight. I just need to wait, or I need to just follow what the SMAs are technically telling me on my lower time frame. So let me just let price play out. Let me just go to the one now. We'll go to the next day. Okay, so it's the next day now, and if I just clear my charts, so it's the next day now, and as I said before, this is the zone that we're coming from, and within the zone, this is my protected low, this is my weak high I would like for price to run, and we've actually created a higher high. So potentially, if we don't candle close above this high, then this may be a weak low where price might want to sweep this, then continue to make higher highs and higher lows. So essentially, based on my 1 hour time frame, that could be my 1, this could be my 2, this could be my 3, and then we're just waiting for 4 and 5 to what's it called? Yeah, we're just waiting for 4 and 5. So if you let price play out, you can see that we've now dumped, and we're now below the SMAs. So now it's really up to me. I can wait for price to switch bullish, and then I can use that to follow my higher time frame, or I can start trading a pullback. I don't necessarily have to wait for price to flip bullish. I can just look for bearish internal structure that can help me take the trade lower, or the better steps will be for me to wait for price to flip bullish on my 5-minute time frame. That's what price looks like, and on my 1-minute time frame, that's what price also looks like. So you can see how on 3 different time frames SMA is bearish. However, on my higher time frame, or my highest, SMA is technically bullish. So that's telling me that price is just in the pullback phase, wants to tap into something on our left, and then continue to make higher highs and potentially higher lows. So let's just head over back to the 5-minute, and if I let price play out, okay, so internally right now we're trading from this high to this low, yeah, and internally it looks like price is bullish because we're taking out highs, took out this high, then we took out this low. So let's just wait and see what happens next. So we ended up taking out this low as well. So, and we're still below the SMA. So let's see if you can get a pullback into the zone. Okay, so we get a pullback into the zone, but now let's see if we can get a potential change in order flow from this zone here. Let me show you that. So trading from that high there, I want to see if we can get a change in order flow, get below the SMAs. And okay, so we took out this high here, took out this low here, still above the SMA, so I'm not gonna try and take anything. And you can see how I've just saved myself from trying to take a pathetic trade. This is why we follow the SMAs. The SMA is a green light to what we're looking for. So if you have context behind your trades, or potential setup, if you know that on your 12-minute time frame or your 5-minute time frame, whatever it may be, if you understood that internally this was a bearish zone, so internally we're trading from this high and this low, and internally we was bullish, right? So we was in a pullback phase. However, on my 12-minute chart, we can see that we're still below the SMA. So when you head over to the 1-minute, what do we see? We can see that price is now bullish because we're now above the SMAs, but we're in a pullback according to our 12-minute time frame. And what have we caused? We have caused a SBS. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Price pushes up. We ended up taking out our previous higher high. We have formed a SBS model 1, probably not the best, but 1, oopsie, probably not the best, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then price obviously takes out that high. So when you have context behind your trade and what you're looking for, everything's always going to make sense to a certain degree, and to to a certain degree. So if you just head over to a 12-minute time frame again, let's see what's going on. Again, we've gone way past my trading time, but that's not the case. I'm trying to just show you throughout the week very quickly. So if I let price play out, okay, so price hasn't taken out the high yet, but you can see how internally price is now bullish based off this bearish zone. But then if you're looking at it from this perspective, all we've done was just facilitate a higher time frame. You see that? All we've done was facilitate a higher time frame where that's the 1, that's the 2, that's the 3. We tapped into something on our left, that's the 4, that's the 5. So this is the area that we've tapped into, which is what? The unmitigated mover region. And we know that to be the strongest area where price might want to tap into and continue to make higher highs and higher lows. In this situation here, we might not be able to get an entry, but now if we go to our 12-minute time frame, you can see that we're below the SMA. So I can't technically take a trade based off my 12-minute time frame until we get above. No problem. If I go to my 5-minute time frame, we've gotten above in this situation here. So as you guys can see, in this situation here, we've now gotten above. We have now formed a internal SBS. So that's my 1, that's my 2, that's my 3, 4, 5. See that? We reacted off the 200 SMA very, very nicely. And you can see how price now pushes up. And that's all come from understanding that overall price was bullish. Internally, price was technically bearish, but internally, with the internal structure of our external, no, that doesn't make sense. So on our 1 hour time frame, we was bullish. On our 5-minute time frame, because remember we came from this area here and we was technically below the SMAs. So on our 5-minute time frame, we was bearish. And then internally, based off that 5-minute time frame, because remember we're trading from this protected high to this weak low, internally we was bullish. So 5-minute time frame, internally bullish. And then what gave us the extra confirmation? My SMAs, because now my SMA was also bullish. So can you see how on the 1 hour price was overall bullish externally? Internally we was technically bearish. However, internally within internal 5-minute structure, price was also bullish. So you technically have 2 time frames that are bullish. Well, 2 structures that are overall bullish, and then obviously 1 structure that was technically bearish. But if we take it up a notch now and we go to our 1-minute time frame, you guys can see how there are trades within here, as I already explained. Here you can see, and even here as well, SPS model 1 potentially, where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tapped an area of supply and demand, pushed higher, reacted off the 200 SMA. You missed that, not a problem. I don't know yet. I don't know if you take out the high. Yeah, we do. And in this situation here, you could use this area here as your zone, which is also an area of supply and demand. And what do we have? Your SPS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't quite push up, no problem. we might get stopped out, no problem. So you might have this as now your four and five. So it just really depends on how you see price, guys. Like I can't stress it enough, guys. Like, and even in this situation, look, we're below the SMA, so you might not want to take a trade from here. But internally, look, we took out. Let's see, we took out this high, so we took out this low here. Ended up taking out the high here. And then what did we create? We created SPS model 1. See that there? Where now that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do push up. We don't quite take out the high, as you guys can see for yourself. However, we still have areas which have not been tapped into, you know. So hopefully now that we've tapped into this place ever so slightly, we now hope that price will end up taking out this internal high, so we can start, making higher highs and higher lows. So as I always say, everything has to be within context, guys, and obviously within our overall time frame, we are hoping that eventually price will take out our previous higher high. So this is how you do it, guys. It's not a secret. There's no secret formula. It's just you see what you trade what you see, following your plan, and you are going to be alright. As I always say, victory belongs to the most tenacious. Wherever you're in the world, I'm wishing you guys a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, and a good night. And I'll see you lots on Monday. Peace.